Hello everyone and welcome to another review. In this review we're going to be checking out a foam flinging blaster from NEX, a flywheel blaster in fact. And NEX isn't one of those brands you think about when it comes to shooting darts. This is the NEX flash fire, basically a build it to how you want kind of blaster, flywheel blaster. The box that we have right here shows the blaster on the front. It comes with a magazine, 10 darts, it comes with a cage and parts to put it together. There's a couple of different variations of, how you could put it together. And it says it fires up to 75 feet and it also takes 3 AA's. On the back, you get some targets and it just goes over a couple of the features of the blaster, but I can't really just unbox this thing and review it. I have to put it together. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest, I have not played with NEX in a long time, and when I did, I was not very creative. So for this review, I'm just gonna put together whatever the instructions tell me to put together, and I'm gonna take a look at that. You can put this blaster together in any way you want. It's NEX, be creative. I know there's some amazing builders out there, but for those of us who don't really have the talent to do that, instructions are included, and that's what I'm going to be looking at. So, build montage! In the box you get your flywheel system and battery tray combination, which is see-through so you can see all the fun stuff that's going on. This is a rather large piece. You also get your magazine, which is not Nerf compatible. It's a bit different, but it does have these nice little hand finger grooves right there, which is pretty cool. You also get this funky little grip, which feels pretty good actually, and you get 2 little packs of darts, which are their own kind of thing that have these little honeycomb style tips to them. So I guess it's time to start putting this thing together. With the flash fire complete, let's go over a couple of its features. The first big one being it is a NEX set, which means it will work with other NEX sets, and you can make this thing as big or almost as small as you want. You kind of need the necessary pieces, which make it a certain height, length, and width. But other than that, you can just do what you want to this to make it the blaster you want, whereas with stuff like Nerf, you have to cut things up, adhere things together, integrate. So it's nice that NEX is letting you be as imaginative as possible with a foam flinging blaster. The second feature is the grip right here. It is not a bunch of NEX put together. It is an actual plastic grip that is rather comfortable. It's not too big, it is not too small, and it fits my hand rather well. Next to the grip, we have the trigger, and I actually lost the piece to the trigger, this little rubbery plastic piece that goes over it, which is a con to it. It might fall off because it's not super duper tight, but the trigger has a very nice pull to it. It's not soft, it has a nice firm pull that comes in the form of this kind of rubbery rubber band piece that goes on to the NEX pieces. The trigger is nice and close to the grip. Hands of all sizes, I think, will find it very comfortable. I think it's comfortable. It feels great, and it doesn't fatigue my finger, but it has a nice firm pull to it. The magazine that comes with this kit is NEX's own design. It will not work with Nerf blasters, but Nerf darts will fit into it just fine, which is what I'm going to be using for the firing test is Koosh Elite and the NEX K darts. One thing to note about the NEX darts is that they are just slightly taller than some other darts. This shouldn't hinder performance or cause any jams, but they are just slightly taller. So the magazine won't work with Nerf blasters, but Nerf darts will work with the NEX magazine, and I really like this grip right here on the front. It's very comfortable, it feels really well, and it does nicely with helping you get the magazine out of the blaster. Speaking of taking the magazine out, putting the magazine in is an odd feeling thing, because if you try and shove it in like this, I feel like the grip in this back area are just gonna break off. So how I like to do it is you take it, you just put it here and you smack it in rather quickly. It's the safest way I've found to do it, to where I don't feel like the back is gonna fly off and break off and then just ruin the functionality of the blaster. Taking it out, you just push against the battery tray, but putting it in is a bit odd. If you want to be super secure, either reinforce this back area or hold it up here and hit it in. But it can get a bit wonky when it comes to putting it in, and I don't trust the strength of some of these pieces back here to hold up, I guess, in the heat of battle. The last thing to discuss before I take this outside and shoot it is the housing where the motor cage, the flywheels, and the batteries are. My barrel is actually sticking off to the right. It's just a bit off, but it's off enough to where it will shoot darts to a place where I'm not really aiming. And if that wasn't bad enough, my flywheels are not centered. They're off to the right, and that's a problem I think NEX needs to address, is quality controlling their stuff to a bit better degree. Mine might be a lemon, it works though, but just keep that in mind during the shooting test, during the chronographing and all that stuff. Mine is a bit wonky, so take all the stuff with a bit of a grain of salt. With all that stuff out of the way, I believe it's time to take this thing outside, give it a chronograph testing for K darts, Koosh darts, and Elite darts, and just see how it works overall. So let's go do that right now. And now I'm going to do a test I think is rather important. It's the how well does this hold up to a couple of drops from about mid-chest height. I'm 6'4", so I don't really know what this is, but might be taller than what you're dealing with. So let's try it out. Ooh. Still working. Still able to work just fine. So it can take a bit of beating. It will look bad, but it'll still work. As you can see, the performance of the Flashfire is really hit or miss. The FPS readings on this are rather decent, but only if you wait for the motors to spin up. If you want to shoot this at a decent rate of fire, the darts are going to fall short because the motors need time to wind up, spin up between shots to get the maximum distance in FPS, but they can't handle spamming, and they certainly can't handle a decent rate of fire, which is not a good thing you want out of a blaster. But that leads me into the pros and cons and whether or not I think it's worth your money. The first pro and the biggest pro for this blaster, and I've said this before in the video, is that it is a NEX based blaster. So you can add other sets to it, you can build off of it, you can add more blaster parts to it and just make it a big hulking beast of a blaster, or you can take it down and make it as little as you want based around the parts that are necessary. The second pro to this is that it is a comfortable blaster. The grip feels great, the trigger pull is nice and firm, and it is close enough to the grip to where I don't have to extend my finger. It doesn't feel weird, but it is a nice firm trigger pull. The magazine is very comfortable, and holding it on the side right here is also comfortable even with these little ridges around the battery tray. The third pro is I love the design of the magazine. I like having these little finger grooves down here. They feel great. It's a nice little touch, a nice little feature they added to the magazine that I think just works really well overall. But that leads us into the cons with the blaster. And the first one is, I feel like I'm gonna break this thing whenever I go to load it if I'm not holding it up here. Having to quickly kind of bash the magazine in instead of like putting in like that. It's just weird. I don't like feeling like the grip is gonna like pop off anytime. The second con is the performance. It's not very good. I think they need to replace the motors or increase the amount of batteries that it takes so the motors can handle more dart shooting, so you're not losing range and you don't have to move in closer to hit your target, or just angle it up a lot in order to reach where you want it to go. The third con is magazine size. 10 rounds is not enough in my opinion. I would say a minimum of 12, but I like using 18s all the time, so going through 10 rounds feels really, really short. And along with this blaster not being able to use Nerf mags because they just don't push the switch in, I've heard they might try and make it compatible with Nerf stuff, but as it is right now, how I'm holding it, it does not work with Nerf mags, which I think is a con, not being swappable with Nerf brand or Busby brand stuff. But there is a small pro to this in which the K darts work with Nerf stuff and Nerf darts work with the Kinect stuff. So that's very nice, but they really need to get the compatibility between mags down. That would be really, really nice to see, so you don't have to go out and buy just Kinect's proprietary magazines in order to use your stuff, because I'm sure a lot of you have Nerf magazines, especially if you're watching this channel. And the last con is the price to this. This kit costs $49.99 through the Kinect site, which to me is a lot of money for what you're getting. I don't know how much Kinect's kits cost. That's hard to say, Kinect's kits. I don't know how much Kinect's kits cost, but to me, $50 for this is definitely not worth it, especially when you can get a Rapid Strike for cheaper, or 2 Strifes, or just something else. I feel like this kit, if this kit was full auto, it'd feel a bit better, but as it is, I don't think it's worth it. So in a nutshell, I think this is a very cool kit. It allows you just to make your own blaster, which is something we haven't really seen, but it's underperforming and it's overpriced. If you're into Kinects and or you just want to get one for yourself, I'll have links in the description to where you can get it. I think as of making this video, you can only get it on the Kinect's website and it might be out of stock, but check it anyways to see if it's in stock or if there's other links in the description if you are interested in getting one. Anyways, that is my review of the K-Force Flashfire, Kinect's semi-automatic flywheel blaster that you can build yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, have a great day wherever you are.